All right, good evening, everyone. On this Tuesday afternoon, as promised, the Power to the People is taking a little breather, just going to relax a little bit from all the social issues that we've been covering for, oh my God, it seems like it's been 6 months already. Because our political system and just continues to give us something to talk about every week, not only our political system, but our social system as well. So we've been going at it every week on the hottest topic, the hottest issue, um, and giving voice to the people. And so yesterday we had a candidate for U.S. Congress, Melissa Watson, and it was on a Monday. That was the only day that she could show up for us. But we have that video in the archives of the Power to the People, and if you want to look at that, she's a strong candidate. It's just not about her being a female or black. She is a strong candidate. Period. She's for the people for bringing up the she's a voice for the poor and for the middle class. And so please look that up. It was just on yesterday, and share it out. It's a voice that we desperately need for our area. And so today we decided to continue on our schedule, which is our Tuesdays. It's our regular Power to the People broadcast. And so we didn't want to throw people off by not just having the show on Monday and not having nothing on Tuesday as we usually would. So we decided to take a breath. Just take a breath, breathe in, breathe out from all the social and political stuff, and have some fun with sports talk. And I realize also that a lot of you are preparing to watch the two games on tonight. The first game is the first game of the Eastern Conference, so we're not going to worry about that too much. But we'll get you out of here in just enough time to catch the game 7 of the Clippers and Denver Nuggets. And let me just holler at a few people as you come on. Good evening, Mother George. Glad to see you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest. And I'm the sole producer today, so I'm going to be sitting back producing for the most part. We're going to start with Jaira Miller. Jaira Miller is my nephew, actually, and he's the sports talking head of the family and probably of South Carolina. Let him tell it. So he's very versed on sports activity. And then we have Justin Coach Johnson, head coach in Hartsville, South Carolina, of the Running Foxes girls basketball team. How you doing, Johnson?
Oh, I'm good, Doc.
Good. All right. Then we have with us a new friend of mine by the name of Juice. Juice, what's your real name again, brother?
Jeremy Winder.
Jeremy Winder. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Jeremy works. Coach Johnson. Jeremy works at Juice works at the Southern Georgia.
Georgia Southern.
As filming and guy. So I was trying to tell him we had a guy from this area, but what Sellers? What school did he go to in Georgia? Was it? Do you remember, Coach Johnson?
We had a guy.
Well, not yeah, you Sellers. He'll kill me if I can't
Zach Sellers.
think of his name. Zach Sellers. Was it Georgia Southern?
I thought he went to. I'm drawing a blank. I think it was a D1 though, and they might have lost their D1 status recently. So.
Okay. All right. We got one more to bring in. He's late as usual, but he's here. He's the crazy one. It is none other than Coach Lacey Jones in the house. Yep, that's him. He's probably the Stephen A. Smith of the day. Is that your LeBron look, man? What in the world? Okay, all right. We're gonna go ahead and get started, and he'll figure out what's going on because he's actually mentored me on this system. So I'm not sure if he's playing games or what. That's what he does. But I'd like for you guys, if you will, that's viewing, that's coming in. Thank you for coming in. I see you coming on in. If you would go ahead and share with us, please share, invite, and like, and also subscribe to our YouTube Live, and we are also on Periscope Live and website Goodman Creek, www.goodmancreek.live, and so we have live streaming from that area as well. Okay, all right. Looks like we've lost two other guys. Now, these are the guys that's on right now. They're the guys with good equipment. So everybody else want to work with some cheap stuff, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and get started. They'll come in. I'll catch them when they come back in. All right. Our first question of the day. Now, those who are tuning in, please, you can interrupt with any questions that you may have concerning sports. Now, we generally, Coach Lacey, when he gets back, Coach Jones and Coach Johnson, and of course myself, we generally coach basketball. So we're probably going to lean more towards basketball talk. But Jair is well-rounded, and I'm sure Juice is too, since he films all the sports, he says. All right. Coach Lacey Jones, are you there? You don't want to be there.
I think he's scared.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think he's scared, Coach Johnson. He might be scared of you today.
I got him last time. I tore him up last time.
All right. So the first question, guys, does the fact that football is being so emphasized to play further indicate that football players should be paid in college? What do you think about that, Coach Johnson?
Should they be paid? Yes. Will they be paid? That's a tougher question. I think the only way you can really pay them their due is to actually make them their own entity. Like college football, its own entity. College basketball, its own entity. Baseball, softball, ball. Like it would have to go along that route. Because you can't just pay football players and not pay everyone else, right? So that's always going to be a dilemma. You're going to be in all kind of lawsuits if you do go that route. But should they be paid? Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Jair, what you think along those lines? Should they start getting paid?
I'm like, they should be paid. But like Coach Johnson said, it's more about how can they be paid. You know, you're going to have like soccer, lacrosse, get upset because football players and basketball players getting paid more, but I mean they're bringing in the big bucks, you know. So it's kind of hard. It's like you gotta figure that out. You gotta figure out how you're gonna pay the players. You can't give everybody the same amount because, like I said, basketball and football they're bringing in more revenue, so you have to pay them pretty much more than what you're paying the other sports.
Okay, what's your take on that, Juice?
It's such a hard question or a hard thing to answer because so much goes into it in college. I think not everybody is aware of necessarily nowadays that student athletes do get cost of attendance money, something that wasn't always there for student athletes on scholarship in college. But then there's beyond the question, which everyone already says is, how do you pay when you're going to be realized because of Title IX, you have to pay not just all the sports, but you also have to make sure the women's sports are taken care of. And then what if you get to a school, say a UConn, where the women's basketball is actually the most important thing. And but then also I think the bigger question would be how do you determine how much is someone getting paid? Are you going to say you're going to establish a salary cap, and how's that break down as far as amongst conferences and different things like that? I think it's such a Pandora's box. There's just not one blanket answer. But I just do think it's very interesting that in this times of COVID, the one thing people are making sure, emphasizing people get one event people are making sure is getting paid is football. People are making sure these college football games are being played.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Okay. I think it should just, with those points being brought up, I think that need probably just be squashed from this point on. I know it comes up every year, every single year. Okay. Let's go with the next question. Do NFL teams that are they're allowed to have fans have an unfair advantage of teams where fans are not allowed in the stadium? Let's go back with you, Juice. Do the NFL teams that are allowed to have fans have an unfair advantage of teams where fans are not allowed?
Really, I don't really think so, just because it's definitely not college where, a majority of those fans are going to be the fans of the home team. The NFL, it varies from year to year. If you consider a Jacksonville Jaguars who voluntarily play one game a year out in London as their home game just because they struggle with attendance down there in Jacksonville. And then a lot of things, I'm not sure people realize, for a number of season ticket holders, they end up selling their tickets anyway just as an extra source of income. And so it doesn't necessarily mean just because you have fans that you're going to have your fans there for cheering for you in the stadium. I think a lot goes into that. But, it's also means, I think the biggest thing is it's all about the revenue for the owners.
Right. Okay. All right. Coach, let's get you warmed up here, Coach Jones.
What's going on?
Hey, welcome to the club.
I see y'all trying to kick me out of the group intentionally.
The word is that you were scared this time.
I bet you that was Coach Johnson doing that.
I
bet you he kept kicking me out and booting me out. They don't want me on the set today.
he say since he won the last set that you want to run and act like you had excuses and couldn't keep the Ethernet and stuff going on.
No, man, no, we good. We here. Yeah, I was hearing the comment on the fans, whether it be unfair or fair, or is it how it balances the momentum and the my thing is I think that having fans in the stadium is a great advantage. I think that from coaching and being in scenarios where you have your home fans there or you don't have your home fans there, the energy means a lot, man. Energy means a lot. And if you have a fan base that are energized and they're cheering for you, they have a way of really pumping you up. And especially when you're losing, if you're losing and your fans can kind of get behind you, gives you a second wind, so to speak. So yeah, if you're having to play in front of an empty stadium as opposed to having some that's filled with fans, that's gonna be a great advantage, no doubt, no doubt at all. I mean, let's take the NBA for example. You're seeing some of the best basketball ever in the NBA. I don't know if everybody agrees with me or not, but in my opinion, you're seeing some of the best basketball that I have seen at the NBA level, and I've been watching basketball my whole life. Part of the reason is because you don't have the influence of the energy from the crowd. So players can just play and not be affected by Joe Blow on the second row screaming at you and calling your mama names.
Yeah. Yeah, they had that one time with Westbrook last week.
And he was so childish. That was so childish play, man.
But
that's
Westbrook.
Gotta be yourself.
Say that again, Juice.
I said you got to be yourself, and Westbrook is going to be that.
Yeah.
And his self is so childish.
Yeah. So I agree. I wonder if they could get what the NBA has for as the wall of live streaming and stuff going on. Could they actually get something like that?
That'd probably be harder to do because of the outdoor elements. But I mean, if they wanted to just
Oh, yeah.
stimulate the noise of a crowd, they could definitely do that in those stadiums.
Well,
I think
they
they're
actually
doing
are
it.
doing that. I actually spoke to one of my friends who works at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and he says they do have they are allowed to pump in crowd noise, but there's a maximum decibel level that they cannot go above.
Okay. Yeah, I figured they were doing that.
Now, of
'Cause
course,
it's-
we all know they got experience doing that down in Atlanta.
Oh.
So
Yeah, in some other places. I believe Seattle sneaks some in there too. So, okay. Anybody else want to respond to that before we move on to the next one? Jared just don't know what do you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like with that one in the NFL, it really doesn't matter in the NFL because, like you said, like you said, it's not going to be most of the time. Like when I was living in Atlanta, I would go to Atlanta games just to have something to do, and I noticed that it's not that it's a lot of Atlanta fans, but it's also a lot of just non-fans that's just coming to watch the game. Versus college football. College football, you had a student section, you got the band. It's a big difference in atmosphere and the fan
Well, yeah,
base.
that's because they suck. I mean, any team that sucks, it's not the fanfare is not going to matter.
Well,
They suck.
Well, then also,
that depends on the team. That depends on the franchise.
well, and then you don't have, like the NBA fans right there on the court talking about your mama and your grandmama and them.
But also NBA fans can determine a call too, which I didn't like. Far as in like, let's say you do a charge and the fans get up and scream and be like, ooh, then the ref will blow the whistle. Sometimes a fan in the NBA can determine a call, which I don't like it. But right now they playing straight up in the gym rec ball. Like there's nobody there. That's what I like about this bubble.
Yeah, it has been pretty good. It's been pretty good. All right, let's go to our third question. Should any amateur athletes be playing football and soccer right now with the lack of regular testing for them? We're getting back to that. What we started out with, whether or not they should be playing or not. Let's go, Coach Johnson.
If you're talking about, I know college players are amateurs, but if we're just talking about our scholastic kids, high school, middle school kids, that's a tough one, right? Because they don't have the resources that some of these colleges have. A lot of these colleges that are playing right now, they actually do have regular testing, a whole lot more than your average high school program or middle school program would have. So you probably can make the argument that they probably shouldn't be out there, considering soccer and football are considered high risk category sports. So I say for college, maybe. For high school, not so much.
Okay, what you think there, Coach John?
No.
No. Well, isn't your son getting ready to play?
Yeah, but the answer is still no.
Oh, okay.
We just winging it and hoping for the best at this point. We just winging it and hoping for the best. I went to a high school football game 2 Fridays ago because I had to do the invocation, the prayer before the game, and I was amazed. And this is no lie. There was more people at that game than had been to any game last year before COVID.
What?
Yes, there were people lined up all on the fence. It was crazy. I was itching. It just made my nose just start itching. My skin started itching. I was.
How many of them were wearing masks?
No. Now people had to wear the mask to come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know how we doing now. We got the mask all on the nose, under our nose, and hanging on your chin. It's just the fact that you got it. And if you got it, you good. You know,
Right.
but they're not really mandating anything. Some people had them pulled down. Some people had them hanging on their ear. You know, and the thing to me is we just winging it, man. We just winging it and hoping for the best at this point. And I understand the premise of it because, like I told my own personal son, you know, who's on scholarship, so his situation is a little different, you know. And I told him, you know, just this weekend, I said, son, you realize if you weren't on scholarship, you would be going to college from home. You would be going over the internet. It would not be a choice. You know, he's like, "Ah, you crazy?" I said, "No, I'm serious. That's the way that it would be." And the reason I'm saying no, they shouldn't be playing is not for them per se, because like my son is very healthy. He's very strong. He has a tremendous immune system. But where the problem comes in at, he came home this weekend, right?
Oh,
And the first thing he want to do is he want to grab me and hug me and kiss me and grab his mom and hug him. And I mean, that's what we want him to do, right?
right,
But,
right.
but at the same time, let's say he's infected. And the
Mhm.
truth of the matter is, in his dorm, they are currently have the second floor of his dorm shut down because of COVID-19. The kids can't come in, they can't come out. You know, and that's happening all over the place. And in high school, where there is no testing at all, you know,
At all.
imagine who has the virus and who's bringing it home to grandma, who's bringing it home, you know, to their parents. No, they shouldn't be playing. No.
Okay. Well, you at least got a fan that agree with you. Certain agrees with you, coach. It's dangerous for teenagers, and they still don't get it. I mean, we've actually opened the schools back up, of course, here, and kids are gonna be kids, and even around the school, on the middle school level, if you ain't careful, man, they gonna pull the whole thing off, snuck up on you, talking to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Coach Johnson goes back. Where is Darlington County or the South Carolina School League? Since you would be in tune with that, Coach Johnson, where are they right now? At least far as basketball is concerned.
Basketball, they've taken away our ability to have our 20 fall practices that we would have had. They've taken away that from us. All we can do at this point is conditioning, if that, you know, and I guess that's dependent upon the district. But then football is fair game, like they're free to go. So the logic of it, I guess, is a little crazy to me, because basketball is a little more controlled. It's indoors, and you can manage a little better. But they've taken away our ability to get these young people prepared for a season if we have a season. Whereas in which, like I said, football's in at least I think what they call phase 2 or whatever. So they've got pads on, and they're actually practicing. Some people had scrimmages this past weekend. So they're about to really go full board with the season, and I don't see anything stopping it at this point.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Yvonne Loudon, for that comment. And our next question will be, let's see here. Now, unless somebody else had something to say, Juice, you want to say something on that before we move on?
It's so difficult because when you talk about amateur, that encompasses so many people. You're talking about kids that are in elementary school who are out there playing sports right now, all the way up to high school. And you start thinking about there needs to be some kind of outlet, you know, for all those kids. You know, they need to be able to get out there and do something and have some sort of regular interaction, you know, with kids their age. But you also got to realize it is very dangerous because there's still so many unknowns, and I see you, Coach Jones. It's a slippery slope. I mean, because I went out this summer and watched my godbrother. Now he was playing. My godbrother's 11 years old. I went out this summer and watched him play baseball this summer, and now he's starting football, and it's just kind of a thing of, they're just hoping for the best. And I think they're going to go forward until something catastrophic happens. It's just unfortunate. And I think we're just hoping that nothing catastrophic happens out of all this stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
I think, Coach White, I think everybody's behaving like
It's
someone
over with.
says this is going to have to last forever.
Mhm.
That's the sentiment I get from everybody, because like Juice, when you say, they need to have some type of interaction with others and activity with others, and even for educational side, my thing is when it comes to a matter of life and death for your neighbor, even if it's not going to affect you, when it comes to life and death for your brother or for your neighbor, is it really going to kill us if we have 1 year of not doing things the way that we are normally accustomed to do? I mean, for me, I'm sitting here going like everybody's behaving like somebody just said, no more football for the rest of our lives, no more basketball for the rest of our lives. It's essentially, if you go ahead and act like you got some sense for probably the next 6 to 8 months and just slow your roll, let this vaccine happen, give it time to go out, then we can be back to normal. If my son is not able to play basketball this whole year, guess what? He will be all right. If our children in school, let's say everybody's complaining about virtual learning and saying that it's not the same quality of learning. Let's say they're true. That's true. Okay, when you measure it to a matter of life and death, is it really going to be a game killer if our children learn half of what they would have learned in a year as opposed to learning the whole gamut? No, it will not. It's only going to be temporary. It's not forever.
Well, the problem is, Coach, is that it trickles down from the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
We
the
all know
problem.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we all know that.
So I don't want you to bust a blood vessel, though. Right now. Until we get a change here, hopefully in November, it's going to be what it is.
I'm
So-
telling you, man.
So they don't
keep
do
my head
no
hurt.
testing in high school football?
I say that again.
They don't do
I
no
think
testing?
at this point it's reactive. I think if someone says they're showing symptoms
hold on
or
a
they
second.
feel as if
Hold on a sec. Let Jar say that question again. So
No,
we,
he asked if there's no testing going on in football. That's what he asked.
okay.
But like high school football, there ain't no testing whatsoever going on. That's pretty much what I was asking.
Yeah, and I said it's reactive. So if someone's showing symptoms, they'll pull them out and test them that way. But by that point, by the time they're showing symptoms, they've probably been asymptomatic for about 2 or 3 days, and they've spread the virus.
I feel like with like amateur, they should just go ahead and shut it down because they don't have like. Do anybody watch Hard Knocks? Y'all watch Hard Knocks with the Rams and the Chargers this year?
Yeah.
They have. You have to get tested every day before you come on the site. Like every day, they got devices where if you within 6 feet of your teammate, it goes off, it buzzes off, and you have to step back.
Wow.
I mean, if amateurs don't have that money, that technology to do that stuff, I mean, they shouldn't be playing. That's just me, period. I understand that scholarships are involved and all that, but if they don't have the resources that NFL or any pro league team has, they should shut it down.
So, Jared, you'll be all right?
I'm in the situation. We have to get tested every week.
Okay. So the school pays for that?
Yeah.
Juice?
Well,
what
the tests are cheap.
school
The
you at?
cheaper tests are like $1 a piece, to be honest with you.
What school are you at, Juice?
Georgia Southern.
Oh, that's Georgia Southern University.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
He's
Well, I mean, I would hope that it's that way in college. I mean, they're actually making money off of tuitions and things of that nature. They should be able to appropriate money towards the safety of these kids. But
it depends on the school.
Just a little temperature radar gun that's going on your head when you walk in the building.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna do it.
Yeah,
Nah,
like the NFL, they do the nose swab, they take blood, they do the temperatures, they do all kind of like. If you don't have the resources to do that, you shouldn't be playing, man. That's just period.
And I think Lacey said something important earlier when it comes down to these young people, because I had a conversation with someone last night, and I think everyone is so quick to say, "Oh, our kids are falling behind educationally. They're this, they're that," as if once this happens, they can't recover, or whatever the case may be. Like I think it's just people are grasping for reasons to make this happen, as opposed to looking for what's the best case for everyone, right? And that's where we are right now. Like someone mentioned, oh, well, the suicide rates are higher. Then I challenged them. I said, well, think about this: 3-4 months now into school, we may find out that bullying is lower, right?
Right.
We can make another argument. I said, while we're pushing kids to go back to school, school isn't a happy place for everyone. Some kids don't want to be back in the building. You see what I'm saying? So like that, I think you got to have a little bit of nuance with it. I think you got to really, really figure out why we're doing what we're doing during this time, especially because these young people can't afford for us to get it wrong.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We putting them back in school because we need daycare, and everybody tired of them bad kids.
Let me help you. They need daycare. They need a psychiatrist.
They need lunch.
Lunch, yeah.
The kid eating up all the food in the house.
We do it all, man. We do it all. Do it all. Mama,
well,
Dad.
I do think a lot of schools though are on the lunch thing. I think a lot of schools are still having the option to be able to provide lunch to kids, because that's a very important thing for a lot of kids.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And Coach White, and there's just one other quick point to speak to what Coach Johnson is saying as well. That I just think we missing the whole thing, because I mean, you and I have had conversations about how far behind our school districts are when it comes to technology, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody before COVID-19, it was no secret. We had a superintendent here in Florence One who came in as a new superintendent, and he was riding the white horse of technology, just saying we're so far behind. That this is one of the reasons why poverty is such in the area. Right. Kids are this, that, and the third, is because we need to start taking advantage of technology. Okay, so the pandemic hits. Now everybody got to get on their P's and Q's and cross their eyes, dot their I's and cross their T's as far as technology is concerned. Now nobody don't want to do it. In my opinion, this was the perfect opportunity to catch a whole society up when it comes to the use of technology. Now I get it, everybody don't have it, but we got all this federal dollars and all of these people pushing for policies, and money's being allocated. With a little bit of brain power and a little bit of patience, we could have had technology set up in the majority of these homes. It wasn't going to happen right away, but if you would have continued to work it, you could have had working with Spectrum and all these different companies for the internet to get even free internet into these homes. You see why we behind? Because of our mindset. Right. You got the perfect opportunity right now. You don't have to beg anybody to get up on technology. You got to do it.
Right. That's
put a political pin in there. Let me put a little political pin in there, because President Obama that was one of his big things, was pushing to make sure that there was internet access everywhere, right?
Everywhere.
And that got scrapped under the current administration. I just want that to be known.
Okay, I got it.
And it was a program that was already in place for years, by the way. And I can provide everybody with that. But that program had been around for years. It was pretty much what people use or call Obama phones. He supercharged that program, that federal program, to make sure that there was internet access in rural areas across the country, and that got scrapped.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we about to lighten it up just a little bit, and then we're gonna take off like a rocket, because here it is. Rocket didn't take off yet.
Oh my God!
I don't even know how this was even a question.
This might be like Skip and Shannon, man. That's all they talk about. Dallas and Tom Brady.
Coach Jones, what they gonna do? Tell us.
We're gonna win it all.
Oh man.
Hey, we're gonna win it all. Let me tell y'all something. All right. So what we had Sunday night
Oh,
was an embarrassment.
That's exactly what it was.
I want you to hear me. I
Oh
want you to hear me
my
out.
God.
I want you to quit acting like Stephen A. Smith and let somebody talk. All right?
Hey,
Now,
Juice, you got on the Dallas hoodie?
Huh?
No, it's a
the
Georgia
Dallas
Southern hoodie.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
listen, this is what happened Sunday night. People act like we're not going to sit up here and act like the Los Angeles Rams is not an elite team in the NFL. We're not going to sit up here and act like that. This is what we're not going to do. What we ain't going to do is sit up here and act like they ain't been to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
But to
Okay?
be an elite team, you have to beat
No. Listen to what I'm saying. The proof is going. We going to come right back on one of these here talk shows before it's all over with. And you, in about 6 or 7 weeks, everybody is going to know that the Los Angeles Rams is an elite team in the NFL. Having said that, we lost by 3 points.
You want a quality win?
And we should have won the game.
Listen what you're saying.
Our coach didn't make a bumphead decision
You
for not
said
taking that field goal.
you said y'all going all the way, right?
We are going all the way.
In
But they
order to
can't
go
beat
all
an
the way,
elite
you have
team.
to beat the elite teams, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you won by 3
Oh,
or
it's
1
good.
point.
It's good.
Winning
It
is
was
winning.
one game. The first game of the year. Okay, and we played an elite team to a last second situation. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, you heard it here first. This is a Charles Barkley.
Y'all say this,
team.
y'all say
All
this
right.
every year. Y'all say this
We
every
might
year.
not lose no more games the rest of the year.
Oh,
And
man.
can't beat the Rams.
Period.
I mean, y'all ain't gonna beat us for one. I tell you that. 49ers.
Are you serious right now?
I'm positive.
Are you serious? And y'all lost to who Sunday?
Hey,
Hey, I tell you who didn't lose. Them Steelers didn't lose
Hey.
last night. That's for sure. But anyway, the Cowboys are in trouble. Here's why they're in trouble. They got a leader in Dak who wants to get paid. He's trying to get paid. He's trying to make the case for why he should be paid. Deshaun Watson just got a big time deal. The pressure is on, and Dak cannot perform as an elite level quarterback. So now he's out there trying to make it work, and it ain't gonna happen. All right.
I
So
don't need him to be elite. Listen, I said
y'all lost y'all starting linebacker for 6 weeks.
Hit the
That's
panic
a
button.
huge hit.
we don't need
Tap
Dak
it.
to be elite. We don't need Dak to be elite. Everybody know Dak ain't elite. That's how come we ain't paid him yet. I called Jerry myself, told Jerry don't pay him. I told Jerry don't pay him. We don't need to pay him.
How can an elite team not have an elite quarterback?
Tony Romo. Listen, did you hear what I just said? Because I know y'all gonna fall out about that. Tony was my guy. All right. Dak is not elite. I just need him to be average. Just be average. That's all I need.
You gotta have an elite quarterback to win it, though.
Coach
Yeah, so
White,
Joe
you gotta
Flacco was an
get
elite
these
quarterback
questions.
when Baltimore won the Super Bowl. He was elite, right?
Let us talk
Come on,
about
talk to me.
real
Talk to me.
football teams, not the Cowgirls. I mean, the Steelers look very impressive last night. Defense looks good. We rocking. I mean, that's what we should be talking about. I don't know why we're talking about the
Y'all played the
Cowgirls,
Giants, man.
Oh my.
and they can't get anything done.
So do you think the Steelers gonna beat the Cowboys this year too?
And walk the dog with them.
What week do we play the Steelers?
Don't matter. You tell
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
Ben Roethlisberger is drawing Social Security, and by the end of the season, he won't be no good. Did you see how he was running around yesterday?
Hey,
that's the difference
say
between
this,
us and y'all.
and
We got an elite quarterback who's all in for
get you, Jar.
one season.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this about the AFC. Week 1, there's only 2 people that's come out of the AFC. That's Lamar Jackson and Pat Mahomes.
Well, that ain't no rocket science there.
I don't see
Everybody
Steelers
know
coming
that.
out. I can't see the Steelers coming out. I'm sorry, man.
Nobody ever see him coming. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Can't nobody stop Lamar Jackson. Can't nobody stop Pat Mahomes. I don't care what kind of defense you got.
Defense.
Yeah.
And
All
you're
right.
wrong, Mr. Miller, you're wrong there too because the Patriots coming out the AFC this year.
Oh
Man.
man, no.
Yes, sir.
I want
Hey,
Cam. I want to see Cam win it all. But
Cam Newton.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
see,
Cam got him a coach. Yes, sir.
you see, this is the issue.
Break it
with
down.
Not just Dallas, and I'm a Cowboys fan myself. This is the issue though, that you don't. Everyone had overreaction on week 1,
Nah.
and so I don't. Not right now. Nothing is as bad as it seems, and nothing is as good as it seems. And I think some of the criticism that Dak's getting right now is a little unfair, because if you want to be honest, Dak made the throw that he needed to make. Now you can argue, was it a pass interference? No, John, hold on. All I'm saying is you can argue pass interference or not pass interference. All I'm saying is Dak needed to make a play. Dak made that throw. He put the ball where it needed to be.
You average.
That's all. I'm saying as far as criticism on Dak. I'm just saying he needed to make a throw. He made the play. Now that was between Michael Gallup messed it up, or you can say it was a bad call. But he made the play need to happen. And then before, when Jason Garrett, we heard complaints about Dallas Cowboys not being aggressive enough.
We weren't.
And so Mike McCarthy was aggressive. He said, "You know what? I'm gonna make a play to go try to go get the lead right now."
Is that aggressive?
It didn't work out.
Stupid? I mean, is that aggressive or is that stupid? I mean, you're in the red zone. You're early in the first quarter. It's not like
it was the fourth quarter. It was the fourth when they had a chance to tie. It was the fourth quarter.
No. I thought that play happened in the third quarter. That play happened in the third.
That was the fourth quarter. They threw the drag route. They threw the drag route to CD Lamb, and he got stopped 1 yard short.
All right. While we talking about quarterbacks, what about Mr. Devilcheck? Was he?
Yeah, he looked good, lad. He looked good.
Yeah. Is he retired or what? Did they?
Nah.
They messed him up.
He looked real good. He looked good. He looked real good. I'm not gonna front on Aaron Rodgers. He looked real good last week.
Why they casting shade on him though?
Huh?
Why you think they cast so much shade on him this summer?
Because what we did to him last year in the playoffs. We was up 20. We was up 20 points at halftime, and he has to.
What's all this?
He got a lot of making up to do. He got a lot of making up to do.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Boy. I like Juice, man. I'm a Cowboy fan, but me and Juice know when to fold them, know when to hold them. So.
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't believe
Juice. One thing I want to say,
and they changed the playoff. They changed the playoff format just for that.
Yeah, I don't think you can learn anyone until you don't have a good idea about a team at least until after week 4.
Yeah.
No. See, with the Cowboys, this has been a pattern. This has been a cycle. This has been carryover. So I think you see a lot right here.
The only thing
I wouldn't say that necessarily, because last year Dallas started 3-0 and missed the playoffs, and in 2018 Dallas was 3-3. Dallas was 3-3 at one point, and then went to the divisional round. So I mean, it's not really how about you start. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen when Van Der Esch gets healthy. You know, Blake Jarwin being gone is a big loss, but you never know how things.
I know what did happen. They fired the coach. They brought in another coach, and the results not better. That's right there. Fair criticism.
I don't know if you can say the results not better based off one game. This is about a season.
This is my thing.
The quality. Did you watch them?
Okay.
Yeah, watch them.
Juice,
Okay. We'll let Flower get this come in. We'll come out of this on.
My thing is about you. Your comment about week 1 is, there's already chemistry on that team. I can't make week 1.
No, but there's chemistry, but they're running a new system. They're now going to the West Coast offense. That's a different system. There's a different system.
Why you think the Saints looked so good last week? Well, I mean, that chemistry is already there. They don't need, that chemistry is there.
Yeah, that chemistry is there, but they're also
got the same wide receivers. He got the same running back. He got the same O-line.
He's got new offensive line.
All right, we'll come back. How many weeks we need to give him? We'll come back.
I told you should have vetted this question, because this is trash.
I know. So what we need to come back and talk about this?
5. We'll come back week 5.
Week 5. All
And
right.
they
Week
still
5.
gonna be trash.
All right. All right. Let's
And,
go
and,
to
and let me
college
tell you
ball.
something. On week 5, don't act like your internet can't get connected. All right, we don't want to see that.
Hey,
Who
I
y'all
don't
got
run
next?
from
Who y'all got next
nobody.
week?
Nobody.
All right.
Hey,
Here it is.
Cowboy Steelers November 8th.
Oh. All right. What's going on with Coach Willie in Florida State? What we need to do with Coach Willie?
Willie Taggart.
Yeah.
Tough situation there. I
Coach-
think he's
Coach-
had enough time to rebuild. I think he's been given enough time. It's Florida State, man. You know, it's the ACC. He gonna have to bring it. You can't be in Florida and not get it done. That's
You
just
can't
it.
be nowhere in Florida.
That's it.
Yeah. Miami's
They-
starting to come back around before they get
Florida
it.
State just have to rebuild, man. That's just that. It ain't no way. Their defense is fine. They gotta find some. Their defense is good. Their defense was just on the field so much on that first game because their offense was on the field for 2 minutes. You got a quarterback that's been on the program for 4 years and still don't know the offense. They got to figure it out on offense.
They washed up, man. Florida State program is washed up.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. The Florida State program is washed up. Every now and then in college sports, you see teams schools that were on the up and up,
Right.
and then at some point they just fizzle out. You know, Florida State is just not. They're washed up.
Okay,
They don't have,
I knew
they
that.
don't have a recruiting edge anymore over anybody else. Back in the day, in Bobby Bowden days, they had a recruiting edge. They do not have a recruiting edge anymore.
And,
Well, I'm
and
just
to
laughing
piggyback
at the
off
question because we already know what happened to Willie Taggart. He got fired at Florida State.
Huh?
Willie's not at Florida State anymore.
I thought he was still at Florida State.
No.
No,
yeah,
Willie's
South
at Florida. He's at Florida Atlantic.
Oh, Florida Atlantic. Yeah, Willie go, man.
Oh,
Who's the coach?
well, who's there now doing this?
Oh man,
Willie
Willie,
too,
that's what I was gonna say. Willie
Mike
big
Norvell. Mike Norvell,
Oh,
who's
okay.
0-1.
Yeah.
Listen, man, if you're gonna be Stephen A. Smith, you got to get these questions right.
Man,
Y'all better. I told you he got to vet these questions.
hey, the
Man,
crazy
I
thing is,
haven't watched them.
Where's Molly Carum here?
I
Hey,
watched
listen,
it,
now-
a little bit of it, and I swear I thought I saw him.
no,
on the
they
sideline.
fired Willie, and they still have to pay Willie. They had to do a buyout.
Maybe
So
that's what I was
They're
saying.
still paying Willie, and Willie's still getting paid from his new team. Willie's on Florida.
Think about
This is how I
this,
knew Florida State. Florida State. Neither one of Deion Sanders' sons had Florida State on their list. When I
Okay.
saw that, I knew something wasn't right.
Washed up. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Washed up. They're
I don't
time.
think so. I don't think so. I think Jimbo Fisher tanked that program, and on his way out, he knew it was done. He took the big payday, got out of town. It was an impossible situation to come in there and try to rebuild when Clemson was rolling. What did Taggart in was the fact that Mac Brown came in North Carolina and made an instant splash. I mean, just inroads, recruiting, pulling big time players.
You're validating what I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, Florida State recruits itself. So
Used
that-
to.
Used
They
to.
used to recruit themselves.
it's still
Yeah.
Florida, man. Kids still want to go to Florida.
They don't want to go look. They want to go where they can get to the NFL. Get on.
It's not the same, man. It's kind of like everybody used to say with the Lakers, right? Like if you were a free agent, everybody was going to check in with the Lakers. Everybody wanted to go there. But that just ain't the case no more. It just ain't the case. There's a lot of places you can go and have fun and have good college experience and then win at the same time.
All right. All right, so we got about 8 more minutes. 8 more minutes, and we're gonna do one more college football, and it's along the lines what Coach Jones was saying about football. Is Clemson the new Bama?
Absolutely not.
Whoa. Oh.
Agree.
If you would have saw, I would
Well,
have
I
gave it to
want
him.
to disagree.
I would have gave it to him until what I saw last year in the championship game.
What you say, Juice?
I mean, I think Clemson is definitely up there amongst the elites. I won't say they're the new Bama. I think they just are enjoying their time at the top right now. It goes in cycles. Early 2000s, USC was at the top. Miami was hanging up there for a little while, then they came down. I just think right now Clemson is right there in their window. They're the premier program in the Southeast. Dabo does a great job of selling that program. I don't know if I would say they're the new Bama though. I haven't seen them win.
Yeah, they
consistently
haven't
enough.
proved. They haven't proved nothing what Nick Saban has proved.
Well, I won't even say that. I mean, I think when you think about Alabama, I think you're talking about going back way back in the day, even before Jar, before you and I were born.
That's
Of course,
disrespectful,
Clemson had one national title before then, 1981, but it's not like they got this long string of championships that you had. The prestige and history on the national level that Alabama
From Bear
has.
Bryant to Nick Saban, you can't even put them in comparison.
All right, let's go to the two guys that look sick down here at the bottom. Let's start with you, Coach Johnson.
What are we talking about? You gonna listen to the guys over there with the Carolina across their chest? I mean, come on, man. We really gonna listen to them? Yes. Here, I'm gonna take it a step further. Clemson is better than Bama right now. Here's why. Clemson can go in and get the recruits that Bama used to be able to get, and Clemson can get them on a regular basis.
Bama's still doing that though.
Clemson is getting them. They are coming into their backyard, getting their top players. I'm telling you.
I hate to admit it, but they are.
But my thing is, Alabama,
and they're better than Bama because they're going to continue to do this. And people feel like Clemson just happened upon this. When Dabo was the recruiting coordinator, they had top 25 recruiting classes year in and year out. They've always been able to get talent, but now they're getting elite level talent, the same as Bama. They've proven they can beat Bama. They're the only team in the country that's probably not even afraid of Bama. Okay, so
LSU is not afraid of LSU ain't afraid.
Into the conversation
I don't think Auburn's afraid of Bama either.
Yeah,
but
they
afraid of them.
Auburn need to be afraid. They just ain't got enough sense.
So what you think, Coach Jones? 30 seconds. What you think about this?
I agree with Coach Johnson. I think that Clemson has found that recipe, to make them a legitimate program, to have longevity. I think Dabo, sells a lot more than football. I think he sells his relationship with the Lord. I think it translates well to parents when they're getting ready to send their kids. Clemson's campus is absolutely beautiful. Even though I hate to say this because I am an avid Carolina fan. I'm a Carolina fan, but I'm telling you right now, the handwriting's on the wall.
When Dabo leaves,
around for a long time.
When Dabo leaves,
what's going to be good for a long time, buddy.
Right.
When Dabo leaves, what's going to happen?
Well, that's a whole different thing. If I don't see
where's he going? He's in home.
Why would he leave?
Nah, they already talking about NFL teams are interested.
Dabo ain't trying to go to no NFL.
Don't know.
Dabo ain't trying to go to no NFL.
He got the control that he has.
Learn from him.
I still don't think Clemson can beat Alabama.
What are you talking about? What they got to do?
I mean, the question is Clemson the new Alabama? I don't think they can beat Alabama.
Huh?
They don't think they can beat them this year.
Okay, Java just lost it. Let's go to the next question. All right. Now, wait a minute. Before I put this back up, we got to be disciplined with 30 seconds on this question, you two. All right. If the Lakers and Clippers meet in the WCF, the Western Conference Finals, what's the potential outcome effects of the legacy of both LeBron and Kawhi? We'll go, Jira, 30 seconds.
LeBron's legacy already is pretty much written.
It is.
It can't get no better.
I don't like LeBron. I'm just gonna say that.
But you don't think it can get no better?
I mean, it's 17 years. I mean, the only thing that can help his legacy if he wins some more. I mean, he's already written. He's probably gonna go down as the greatest player ever in NBA.
Ever.
Oh my goodness! Somebody unplug his mic.
Okay, wait.
And I don't even want to say that. I don't even want to say that because I'm a Kobe guy. When it's all said and done, he's probably gonna go down as the best player ever to do it.
On what basis? Let's give him 30 more seconds. On what basis?
You better get in here, man.
And then, like I said, Leonard, he's still writing his book. It ain't said and done just yet.
All right, Juice.
If you don't like LeBron at this point, you don't like him. I mean, I know some people don't like him, but I think you got to respect him and appreciate him. I don't think he's the greatest of all time. I believe that's Jordan. I'm not coming off that, but that's my opinion. I think Kawhi can definitely take another step on the greatness ladder if he's able to win the game tonight and then advance past the Lakers in the Western
Just wait
Conference
till my
Finals.
boy come back next year, man. Just wait.
Who, KD?
Yes, KD. Wait till KD come back next year, man. KD is the man.
All right, Coach Johnson.
Doc, let me tell you, if LeBron wins this, it's solidified. It's done. All right, it's done. You got to go ahead and give it to him. Okay, I was talking to somebody earlier today. If you think about it, over the last decade, LeBron has been in the finals probably every year but one. This guy is greatness personified. All right,
that's terrible though, man. That's terrible. That's a terrible record.
When you think about Kawhi, I love Kawhi. Right, Kawhi came through the San Antonio Spurs. I'm a Spurs guy. What a great job that organization did in developing that talent, identifying that talent. All right, he's good. He's gonna be good, but he ain't LeBron. So at the end of the day, if he wants to have a chance at some conversation in there, he's got to do it this year. But unfortunately, Kawhi is done tonight against the Denver Nuggets.
Oof.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, if they lose to Denver, that puts a dent in his legacy. I ain't even gonna lie.
We're gonna talk about that. All right, Coach Stephen A. Jones.
You know what? I'm gonna surprise you here. I'm not even really gonna argue this point because there's no rationale
This Shannon
that
Sharp
can be had with LeBron James fanatics. Okay, there's just no rationale. Did you hear what he just said? You got to say, regardless of what happens in these finals, his legacy cannot be altered. He is still going to be the greatest of all time. That is so absurd. That is like me sitting here trying to have a religious, intellectual conversation with a 3-year-old. Their minds can expand to that point. You LeBron James fanatics are so ridiculous. First of all,
I don't like LeBron, but this is just
that you've already conjured up because you already know he's not winning the championship this year. So you're already going to say it doesn't matter. It's not going to change for year. Oh, yes, it will.
I mean, he's past Jordan.
You cannot lose 6 out of 9 championships and even be in the conversation. Number one. Number two, we've already said, even he said it himself. He played in the JV league. Half of his legacy is because he played in the Eastern Conference. He came on record, made a commercial, and said, everybody said I couldn't do it in the West. And my question to him was, you still ain't done it in the West yet. You got to get out of the West before you can even shoot that commercial.
But he already know. Greatness knows. Moving on.
It's like this, man. It's I don't like him. I'm gonna respect him because he's great.
Listen, he's a good player. Mr. Miller, you had your 30 seconds, sir. He's 30 seconds. And I'm gonna say, he's a good player. He's one of the greatest. He's one of the greatest of all time. Only a fool will argue that point. But my thing is here, no, sir. He is not the greatest of all time. He is not even, in my opinion, in the top 3 of all time.
If he wins it this year, he's gonna go down the greatest of all time.
No, if he wins this year, it's going to help his legacy a lot because he won out of the Western Conference. I'm going to give you that. But it ain't going to see him.
What would it take, Coach Jones, what would it take for you to be convinced that he's the greatest of all time?
What would it have taken is for him to
erase. He's still going.
It's too late because he already lost 6 times. It's too late. It can't happen. It won't happen.
So no matter what he does, he can't be
athlete accountable.
There's a lot of players. There's a lot of players in the league that has never made it.
All you want. I'm telling you, we hold every other athlete accountable about what they do when it matters most. And this guy, when it matters most, he has lost more than he has won.
But it's a lot of players in the league that's been in the league for a long time. There's some great players that haven't even made it to a conference final.
What they got to do with the
You right? Because when Shaq and
we talking about LeBron.
when Shaq and Charles had their argument, Shaq lays out that one finding fact. You know,
I got a ring.
I got a ring.
You got a ring. That's it.
And
That's
LeBron
it.
got
That's
one
it.
too.
Well,
All
yeah,
right, let's go to here. All right. Will Russell, Westbrook, or CP3 ever get a title? That one.
Right. CP3 should have had it. I said this on the
Yeah,
first
the
one.
NFL did us dirty, man.
The first
NBA.
sport talk.
NFL.
NBA, my bad.
We had, I said CP3 getting hurt in that series. That was probably his last crack at it. Westbrook, I think, is going to have to go. It's going to have to go somewhere. Somebody's going to respect this game first and foremost. Shoot, man, he's getting a bad rap again because you see Dan Tony right after the series was over. He said he's not.
I'm out.
I hate what's happening to Westbrook because he's getting painted in that way as either a coach killer or a team killer. I don't think he's that. I think he just needs to get in the right.
I think he's all that. Team killer for sure.
I think Chris Paul could have got one when the NBA voided that trade for him and Kobe to play together.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that.
Because
I'm gonna give you a scenario that CP3 wins a championship.
Goes to Milwaukee.
Go to the Lakers.
Go to the Lakers.
I think he'll go to the Lakers.
Go to the Lakers. And I don't want to see that happen because I don't want to hear no more LeBron talk. But see, LeBron has to have a person on his team to where people refer to as a dog. He has to have a dog riding with him because he's not. He's not a dog.
That's what Rondo. Hey, when Rondo,
you got to have a dog. Let me
He set us up with that one. He just agreeing with him.
I'm not gonna lie. I agree with him.
Let me help you with that.
All right. Then after that,
when he was with the Cavaliers, he had a dog. What was his name? Y'all know it. What was his name?
Kyrie.
His name was Kyrie Irving. That was a dog. When he was with the Heat, he had a dog. What was his name, y'all?
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade. He is now on a team that is full of superstars, but he does not. Let me tell you, Anthony Davis comes across to me as a little bit soft. He seems a little soft. He don't dominate like he should dominate.
Now,
if he gets a dog like Chris Paul is a dog. If he gets Chris Paul riding with him, then he'll win.
This one I'm gonna disagree with you at. Rondo is a dog.
Yes, he is.
Ever since Rondo that came back,
but he's past his prime. He's not. He's got to be a dog that is able to control a game scoring wise.
He been dropping 20 points since he came back.
It's not enough. It's not enough. But you're right. I'm not going to disagree. Rondo is a dog. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
All right,
he didn't back down from Westbrook.
Hold up.
I think CP3. I think CP3 should be that person who sacrifices and goes to Milwaukee and sees if he can help Giannis. I think that's gonna be his best chance.
I like that.
I mean, it's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be a struggle though for as long as Jimmy Butler is down there in Miami because he's gonna be with a franchise that has a championship pedigree, and wherever Pat Riley has been in the NBA, that team, whether he's a coach or an executive, that team has always been competitive. And so they're going to be. Giannis is going to have to deal with Miami for the foreseeable future, or at least as long as he's in the East, if he decides to come back. But I think CP3 should definitely be that superstar who goes up to Milwaukee and teams up with Giannis.
I mean, look what he did with OKC, man. That was just crazy. Nobody ever thought OKC was going to make the playoffs.
Oh, he's a player, man. He's a player. He's a player.
And I'll say this: the title that he should have gotten was MVP this year. He definitely should have been MVP this year.
All right. Yeah. With that said, with Juice, to back up what Juice saying, or follow up what Juice saying, should Giannis stay in Milwaukee?
Yes.
All right, Coach Jones.
I'm a Kobe fan, and the answer to that is always going to be yes. Stay put. What I'm saying is his mentality. Win where you are. He's a superstar in Milwaukee. I don't see. I just don't like superstars leaving to hunt championships.
Yeah.
I think.
Are you throwing shade? Are you throwing shade again at LeBron? Was that some shade?
He do that in his sleep.
You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
I'm not gonna say LeBron started it, It all started with the Boston, the Big Three. That's where it started.
Yeah.
Nah, it started with the Lakers.
What?
Yeah.
Why is it always important where it started?
I'm just gonna point that out to Jara. Don't forget Gary Payton and Karl Malone.
Yeah. But they didn't accomplish nothing though, Juice.
They went to the finals.
Them boys are washed up.
That was terrible.
They went to the finals, and I know a number of people who believe if Karl Malone didn't get hurt, they believe that the Lakers actually could have beat Detroit.
All right. Okay, let's move on to the next one right quick. We got two more questions. Do you think the bubble playoffs will cause people to look back on this year's champion with an asterisk, quote unquote, like it really wasn't? It was just a wet game.
But think about it. This is the best basketball. I agree with what Lacey said earlier. It's the best basketball I've seen in a while. I love this bubble, to be honest with you. I think the competitive juices have been flowing. I think no series is over until it's over, right? We've seen these 3-1 series end up in game 7s. These boys come to play. The attention to detail is a lot higher. The turnaround is less. The wear and tear on the body is less with the travel. Yeah. I mean, this is probably as good as it's going to get, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's been some good basketball.
We would have never thought Miami was this good until the bubble.
Yeah, I didn't know.
I mean,
Juice, 15 seconds.
It's a lot that goes into it. I will say that the basis of the NBA was you earn home court advantage and you earn that opportunity. And I think some of that has been lost. And I do think that is somewhat affected Milwaukee not being able to actually play those games at home. But I mean, it's definitely been interesting. But you're gonna have some people who are gonna look back at it and say, well, it was a weird season. And you have your other group of people say, hey, they played, a champion was determined.
Okay. All right, we're gonna catch Coach Jones and Jara on this question. Who gets the East Conference Finals? The Heat or the Celtics?
I'm watching it right now, man.
What's it looking like?
Well, don't tell me because I got it on pause. I don't want to hear it. I got it on pause.
Score, man. Tell us what the score is.
No, man.
It's 66-65 Miami. It's a great game, man.
Okay, all right.
I see Miami winning because of their defense.
All right, when you hit the play button, Coach Jones, who's gonna be winning? Who gonna win it all?
This is to me, this is the closest series that I think is going to happen here. Maybe in the entire playoffs, these teams are very evenly matched. I like what Butler brings to Miami, his fight. And Boston is I think they're the most talented team, but I think Miami, man, I just think they got this swag going on right now. I really don't know, man. If I had to pick a winner right now, I'm going with Miami, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm saying that.
And they got the veteran coach that's been there already.
And they got them kids starting to shoot now. That's something that nobody was anticipating. You know, a Hero and Robinson being able to shoot it like that, man. You got people out there comparing them to the Warriors today, which I thought was very crazy, but that's how well they're shooting the ball.
Yeah, because James Crowder, he's out there lighting it up, man.
It's only crazy until they prove it. People thought Mark Jackson was crazy when he was the head coach of the Warriors and he said he had the greatest shooting backcourt ever. People thought he was crazy at the time. It ain't crazy to say that now.
Well, he was crazy. But no. Here's what I'm going to say. People misunderstand Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson is the reason why those guys excel the way they did because of the confidence that he put in those two guys. A lot of people misunderstand that. They take it for granted what a coach can do. If think about it now, Mark Jackson, one of the greatest point guards of all time, comes to Steph and Clay and say, "You guys are the two greatest shooters I have ever seen." And he keeps telling them this over and over again, goes on national TV and puts his neck on the line and says, I credit what you see in Golden State right now, even though he wasn't X's and O's, confidence-wise, you talking about people pulling up from the half-court line shooting, that's a brain job there.
I seen Curry do that in high school, live.
Listen,
I saw,
man,
I,
we
I
all
saw
saw him.
him. I saw him do it in college live.
We
Yeah,
all saw him
I
do it
was on the
every now
bench.
and then, but
I
we
seen it.
nobody can sit here and say they saw him do it with the regularity he does it with now.
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
Come on, I make a half court shot in the gym every now and then.
Nah, I watched him play at the Chick-fil-A Classic. And he was pulling them from half court. He was like a little scrawny. We didn't know who he was at first.
Yeah.
He came in there, a
No,
little scrawny kid, and then he put on that uniform, got on that court. He was pulling from everywhere you can think of.
no,
Yeah.
I don't. I agree. I don't think anyone say they saw him doing that out of the box. I mean, when they first saw him coming in, but I think you got to remember Steph Curry only had 2 Division I offers when he was coming out of high school. That was to
Exactly.
Davidson. That was to Davidson, and to my alma mater, Winthrop University.
Exactly.
But what I will say about Mark Jackson that Mark Jackson saw what nobody else saw. Mark
This is
Jackson
what I'm
saw
saying.
the behind the scenes work that he was putting in.
Right. This is what I'm saying. And he instilled that confidence in those guys, man. I can't even right now. There's 6 open NBA jobs. I cannot believe Mark Jackson is not being considered for one of them.
Preach.
But they about to offer. The crazy thing is they about to offer Van Gundy a job.
Oh God! All right, let's take us to the next question.
Hey, he didn't fly, by the way.
Who is that?
Fly.
Who is offering that?
Huh?
Who is offering Van Gundy?
They said the Rockets are looking at.
Yeah, the Rockets are looking at him. I'm gonna tell you, the Rockets gonna hire him. They putting there's another guy. They said they're looking at 2 right now. Van Gundy and who was the other name that was called?
I forgot the other name. All I saw was Van Gundy. I know it was another guy too.
Yeah, it was a black coach, and I think it was just eye candy. They're gonna hire Van Gundy.
Wow. All right.
It was Ty Lue. Yeah, it was Ty Lue. It's Van
Oh
Gundy.
yeah, they'll hire Gundy over him just for eye candy alone. But with that said, I want to say that Miami has. We talked about dogs, but Miami has. They have 5 dogs, man, on the court at all times.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, 15 seconds, guys. Who gets the win tonight? Clips, Nuggets. Juice.
Clippers.
Jara.
I'm gonna say the Clippers.
Johnson.
I already told y'all, book it. Nuggets.
Wow.
Oh, you did do that.
Yeah, he said that.
What you
like
sweating over there, Coach Jones? What you sweating at?
Well, my heart wants the Nuggets to win, but I need the Clippers to win because I think they got the best shot of taking out LeBron, and I can't hear this LeBron talk no more. Okay, I need the Clippers to win because I don't think the Nuggets got enough to beat them.
If the Lakers play like they played the last game, can't nobody beat them. Nobody.
Okay, goodbye.
But you're not gonna get that from the Lakers every game. But if you got that from them every game, where everybody's clicking, everybody's making shots, they'll be unstoppable. Can nobody beat them?
No,
Nobody.
All right, guys. This is it. This is lightning round. Quick last question. Quick answer. 20 seconds. You're gonna state your reason and why. And the question is, I'm scared to do this, but should LeBron have received the MVP?
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lightning round. Look real closely. No.
All right, Coach Johnson.
Yes.
Wait a minute, you gotta say why, Jones. Wait.
No, I mean, you're talking about the complete year. I mean, first off, he was injured a lot. He didn't play the entire situation. I think from bell to bell, Giannis was better. Period. From bell to bell during the regular season, Giannis was better. I mean, look at the stats. It was better.
All right. We're gonna go up to Jara.
Before the playoffs, yes. After the playoffs, Giannis didn't. They got whooped. I mean,
They don't take into account the playoffs.
That's who he is. The regular season is weak.
yeah, that's what I
Giannis is
said,
young.
man. If they let it go on a little longer to like the second round of the conference finals to name the MVP, LeBron should have got it.
But he didn't.
LeBron should have got it.
All right.
Giannis should have won MVP. Giannis got the same thing LeBron got, number one in this conference, without another superstar on his team.
Come on now, preach now. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, Coach Jackson, we got a hole to dig out here.
All right, now hold up. LeBron should have gotten it because he had a revamped roster that went in the toughest conference and became the 1 seed. Okay, Giannis had a team already constructed, a lot of chemistry. Everyone expected them to be number 1 in the East. They didn't overachieve. They didn't do anything outside of the box. People still doubted whether the Lakers would even be a 1 seed. That's fact. People put the Clippers ahead of the Lakers. That's fact. And in year 17, LeBron James has still reinvented himself, leading the league in assists and
Still
doing
breaking records.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Johnson, if LeBron quit jumping teams, he can have some chemistry too. It ain't nobody fault for his. He keep trading teams.
Hey, it don't matter, but that tells you how great he is. Because
That's what your argument was. Your argument is that part of your argument is that his team ain't got no chemistry. Well, I say if he would stay put and stay in one city, he can get some chemistry.
Hey, Mr. Jones, name somebody that's in the league that's been in the league 17 years and that the 17th year still breaking records.
Listen, let's go ahead and debunk this 17.
If you play at a high level,
if you in the 17th year, you probably should be breaking records.
Exactly, and furthermore, when you come into the league right out of kindergarten, 17 years don't mean as much as whenever you do your
82 game season.
He came to the league, but he still had
That's a lot of wear and tear on the body, and still in year 17, he's still ticking at a high level.
17 don't mean nothing when you come in the NBA when you 17 years old. That don't mean nothing.
Ain't too many guys gonna hate. That's the only reason I would give it to him, because of how he's reinvented himself after 17 years. Even though he came in after kindergarten and all, there's a lot of people that wouldn't be able to endure.
Yeah, but is he gonna be able to do what Kobe did when Kobe was unable to drive to the lane like he was in his prime? Kobe reinvented his mid-range jump shot.
Yeah,
I don't see that from LeBron.
Yeah.
That's
thank you y'all. Okay. All right, fellas. I appreciate you guys, and we'll probably have to do this again before the election.
Week 5
after the championship.
Week 5, yeah. Week 5.
Week 5. Okay.
When the Cowboys are 1-4.
Okay. All right. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Kyra. Coach Johnson, we'll holla. All right. Okay. Thank you for hanging in here with us. We hope that you have enjoyed tonight's just a little breather, little relaxation to get some laughs in. And next week, I'm not sure what's on the calendar for Power to the People. I think it should be a follow-up on youth programs. It's a follow-up to dealing with youth violence, and we talked to some law enforcement a few weeks ago. I think it was a month ago. And one of the biggest issues that kept coming up from the community during our live was programs for our youth. And so we're gathering some directors of youth programs from surrounding areas, different cities, to come in and help us talk about that. So if I'm not mistaken, I think that would be it. Thank you, Yvonne, for hanging in here with us, old rusty heads. All right, you may have to be the female that come in next time. All right, God bless you all. Have a blessed day, and we will see you guys hopefully on Tuesday for our Bible study. We're going to be talking about growing in Christ, not being a baby anymore. All right. God bless you and have a blessed night.